Joining me now, Swati Maliwal is Delhi Commission of Women Chairperson, Nandan Kamath, co-founder of Go Sports Foundation and a sports lawyer. Anna Mehrotra is also a sports lawyer. Neha Sharma, former Olympian and TD player, also joined me. Appreciate all of you joining us. I want to come to you, Swati Maliwal. You may have heard what has been said by Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh. One argument is that if there is evidence against him, there should be an FIR filed and this should be a matter settled in the police. And that's where the athlete should go next.
Firstly, I just fail to understand that this man has been sitting on the post of Wrestling Federation of India president for the past 13 years. Why can't he be made to resign so that the athletes, without any fear of any kind of intimidation, can actually go ahead and file their case? So first and foremost, he needs to resign.
But should they have filed the case earlier?
Why can't the other way around? Why should it not happen like that? And at the same time, Delhi police has heard all these athletes go on record stating that they have been sexually harassed by him, by other coaches, and they have witnessed several other women being harassed by these people, and they have evidence. So has the Delhi police approached these athletes? Has their statements been recorded? Has any kind of help been provided to these athletes? I think it's a matter of great shame for the nation that these are Olympian medalists. They have really brought laurels to the country, and they have been made to sit in Jantar Mantar in this cold, and they're actually crying and seeking help, and nobody wants to come out and help them. Whenever these people win medals for the country, then all the netas line up and they all want photographs with these athletes. And even this Mr. Brij Bhushan Sharan, I heard him say that he's also trying to claim credit for all the good work that these people have been doing, and saying that, you know, meri wajah se in logon ko.
So what do you intend to do? So what does the Delhi Commission of Women, all of this is taking place in the heart of the national capital. Will you encourage these women now to file FIRs? Will you all suo moto take this matter up? What do you intend to do?
So we've already suo moto taken the matter up. I have met all these athletes yesterday. I have had a long discussion with them, and we have issued notices to the sports ministry as well as to the Delhi police. I have asked for a copy of the FIR, I have asked for arrests in the matter, and I have also asked the sports ministry as to what is the internal complaints committee, what are the systems in place. There is no inquiry. All these athletes who are extremely strong and accomplished women, they have been forced to sit on a strike, and they are raising some very serious allegations. I fail to understand why can't they be investigated?
Okay.
What are the systems in the ministry, and what steps have been taken in order to ensure that all these young athletes do not fall prey to predators? It's really unfortunate, and I just fail to understand what is the call for fame for this man who continues to be the Wrestling Federation of India as if he's bigger than all these athletes put together. Why can't he be made to resign? He should first resign, and then a proper investigation should happen, and whatever is the court of law, whatever that says, ultimately we will accept. But first and foremost, this man has to resign. 13 years in any case is a very long time to remain in this, and I really don't see any call to fame except for him being a politician.
Okay, let me leave it there. Swati Maliwal joining me from the Delhi Commission of Women. Thank you very much. I want to go to the lawyers. Nandan Kamath, you've tracked athletics. You've got a wonderful foundation that works among athletes. What's your sense? What can be done in a situation like these? Conflicting claims, counter claims. Should the athletes have gone to the street to make their voice heard? Is that the only way? Or could they have approached, they claim they approached various ministries, no one was willing to listen?
Yeah, Rajdeep, I think this is a real challenge and quite a unique situation that athletes are willing to speak up. And I think it's worth understanding what they put on the line when speaking up. Unlike other situations where people are employed by companies and perhaps there's sexual harassment at the workplace, here they're dealing with a single employer who is in charge of their careers in a very, very pervasive manner. So you're putting a lot on the line when making a complaint of this nature, which is essentially your entire career, with the allegations against someone who has the potential to essentially put an end to one's career. And I think that puts a little bit of context on the seriousness of the issue, and more importantly, the way this has to be dealt with in a more independent manner. It's going to be very difficult for an internal complaints committee of the the federation itself to resolve this matter. I think it has escalated to a point where there's going to be independent investigation required to determine facts.
Because Anna Mehrotra, what would you suggest? Should there be, I come back to it, an FIR filed at the first instance? I haven't seen an FIR yet against Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh. Should these athletes now go and file that? Or should they first wait for the sports ministry to at least ensure that Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh is made to step aside till this investigation is over? When you listen to him on our interview just now, he seemed ready to brazen it out.
No, I 100% agree that an FIR needs to be filed immediately, because I also haven't seen any complaint out there, nor under the POSH Act, nor under the protection of children. In case there's been any minors involved, then there is an act that talks about the protection of children from sexual offences. Of course, there is the POSH Act, which includes offences that may be made at a stadium, at a sports federation. It includes all of that. And of course, there are other provisions that, you know, the National Sports Development Code in itself, in its Annexure 17, which was passed as far back as, circulated as far back as in August 2010, mandated all national sports federations to ensure awareness around sexual harassment, right? So, I mean, of course, this gentleman anyways, the last elections of the Wrestling Federation of India were held in 2019 February. He's been serving at the helm since 2011. His 3 terms are about to come to an end next month. Elections are anyways due. So I don't think this whole angle of him merely being suspended from the National Sports Federation as the president and, you know, or ordering an inquiry to that extent is going to be helpful. If he's done anything, then obviously the IPC and other.
So you're saying this cannot just be limited to the sports federation. There has to be the criminal justice system in case he's guilty in any manner. Neha Sharma,
absolutely.
As a former Olympian, have you heard these charges not just in wrestling but other sports? Is this something that has taken you by surprise?
Well, we had heard of these charges, and it happens across sports. I mean, it happens across various professions. I'm so glad that the athletes got the courage to speak up. It takes a lot to do this. All of them have really literally put their careers on stake to come down on the streets, considering next year is the Paris Olympic year, and it's going to be a very, very intense next 1.5 years. Despite that, they have come down. It takes immense courage, and I feel this only motivates other athletes across other sports also to always speak up, because you know, people who are politicians really have a lot of power, and it becomes very, very hard for athletes to speak up when things like this come up, and you know, then their careers, trials and selection, all of that is not transparent. So I think what is happening is just fantastic to clean up the system, and more importantly, give voice to the athletes.
You know, Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, for our viewers, is a 5-time MP, 6-time MP, was with the BJP, is with the BJP, was briefly with the Samajwadi Party, is a Tada détenu, was arrested for sheltering Dawood Ibrahim's aide Subhash Singh Thakur in 1996. I remember interviewing him there. Serious allegations were made. He got off. But the fact is, do you have a Tada détenu as your wrestling federation chief? You know, Nandan Kamath, you might have heard the interview where he said this is a Congress conspiracy against me, and that Haryana's athletes have got together. I mean, what does it say about the kind of people who are running certain federations? Here we are talking about Olympic glory, getting in more golds in a sport like wrestling where we've done well in recent times, and the federation chief almost takes credit for it. He's someone with this rather dubious past record, and is a very powerful politician. He's making it now a political issue, and I can tell you, Nandan, that all politicians were stopped from being part of this dharna. The left's Brinda Karat came there. She was asked to move away. So clearly the wrestlers don't want to make this political, but here is Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh making it political. What does it say about the kind of people who head these federations?
And I think that really the facts speak for themselves, and it's I think not worth stating any more than I think what you've stated here. But I think the important thing here is that facts have no politics, and I think what we have to get to in this case is get to the facts. and use whatever procedures are available to find out what happened. And
what's the best procedure? Nandan, in your view, what's the best procedure?
so I think it's impossible for independent inquiry to happen within the federation itself. Normally, what you would have is a superior body like the IOA take over and run an independent investigation of this. But I think what you have to look at is the escalated risk that all these athletes have faced. In many other countries, this would be seen as aggravated assault, where you're essentially in a position of trust. So it's not only sexual harassment, but sexual harassment, if these allegations are proved true, by someone who is in a pervasive state of control, whether it's a coach, whether it's someone who exercises power as the head of a federation. They actually have influence outside the ordinary. And when that influence is used in a way that is demeaning of athletes, putting them at risks of various sorts, I think that in many other jurisdictions, this would be seen as aggravated offense, an aggravated criminal offense if the facts were proved. And I think we have to look at it in that sense. This is no ordinary sort of harassment at the workplace allegation. This is a much larger one in effectively a quasi-public body. This might be a private body, but it exercises a public function. And when it does so, it exercises significant control over the lives of not just athletes, but anyone aspiring to be an athlete. And I think all of this needs to be seen in a much wider context.
Well, those are very strong words coming from all of you, and I hope that someone out there is listening. Anurag Thakur, we are told, Sports Minister, will be meeting some of these wrestlers at 10 p.m. Mr. Thakur now needs to ensure that he walks the talk on this one, at least ensure that the Federation Chief steps aside pending an independent inquiry. Thank you all very much for sharing your views here on the news today.